enjoy adventures in the hills and days bagging peaks? And would you like to build up your navigation skills so you can complete your goals while you're out in the mountains? My name is Jill Range, and the aim of this podcast is to be used as an educational tool to build on your confidence of navigation skills and learn knowledge about maps. It will be useful for people who are just getting into mountain walking or are working towards their mountain leader training. It is towards an assignment for a module on my Sports Science Outdoor Activities degree at Bangor University. Some tips to remember for successful navigation are to choose the correct navigation skills for the weather conditions and the group that you are with. This podcast will cover basic navigation with the sole use of a map, which would be useful in good visibility or when sticking to paths and tracks. First, I'm going to highlight the main features of a map.
Maps are available in different scales in relation to the ground, the most common being 1 to 25,000, meaning that 1 unit on the map represents 25,000 units on the ground. So for example, 1 centimetre on the map is 250 metres in real life. Throughout this podcast, any reference to a map will be based on a 1 to 25,000 scale, though the same theories apply to different scales. In the corner of a map, you will find a key to the different symbols, roads and paths. It is a good idea to become familiar with these symbols to save time while navigating on the hill, so you don't have to keep referring back to the key. The yellow area on newer maps shows areas of land that are open access. This means that you are allowed to walk freely on the land and don't have to stick to paths. This has been the case since October 2005. The blue grid lines on a map are used to create a grid reference. Each square on the map represents 1 kilometre squared. The lines running from the top to the bottom of the map are known as eastings, as they measure distance of the land from west to east. The lines running from the left to the right of the map are known as northings, and they measure distance of the land from south to north. When generating a grid reference, you use the eastings, then the northings. An easy way to remember this is along the corridor and up the stairs. Another main aspect of a map is the thin brown lines known as contours, which show the relief of the ground. They show heights of the land from sea level, and on a 1 to 25,000 map, each contour shows an increase in 10 metres in height. The closer the lines are together, the steeper the ground is. The further distance apart they are, the flatter the area is. When you are out in the hills, orientation of your map with the land around you can help with your navigation. To do this, you can use the contours, the grid lines and the symbols on the map, as I've discussed earlier. This process involves turning the map round until the eastings on the map are pointing magnetic north and the map is in the same orientation as the land around you. From this, you should know exactly where you are on the map. As an example, I am at point A on the map, facing the direction of the arrow. Therefore, in front of me, I should be able to see a forest, and to my left, I should be able to see a quarry.
I'm now going to explain 3 skills that you can use while navigating with the use of a map to get you from your location, point A, to your destination, point B. These are handrailing, checkpoints and catchment areas.
Handrailing is when you follow a feature to get to point B. This could be a wall, a river or a ridgeline. In this example, I can handrail the wall as shown. Checkpoints are points that you can look out for along the way from A to B while you are handrailing a feature. These could be buildings, path junctions or a lake. You can create a mental list in your head and tick them off as you go along. In this example, I could use the sheep pen as a checkpoint to make sure I'm on the right tracks. Catchment areas are features that are past point B, so that if you handrail for too long, you will know that you have passed your destination, as you will have arrived at your catchment area. This could be a lake, a building or a path junction. In this example, it will be a wall junction that will be my catchment area.
A grid reference is a six-figure number that is used to locate a specific location, such as in an emergency or as a meeting point. First, you generate a four-figure grid reference, and this is done by using the blue grid lines.
As an example, we are going to find a grid reference for the sheepfold shown. You go along the corridor and up the stairs. We now have a four-figure grid reference, which we want to turn into a six-figure grid reference. Each of the squares is further divided up into tenths. So using the same principle as eastings and northings, along the corridor and up the stairs, we can generate our six-figure grid reference.
The best way to learn the navigation skills that have been discussed is to go out and practice in a variety of conditions and areas. If you feel like you need to challenge yourself, you could go out in poor visibility, at night, or to an area you have never been to before. Going out on a regular basis into the hills and using a map will help with retention of the skill, as will going out with someone of similar ability and of the same gender.